And you know, 40% of the world's land is degraded now, affecting the livelihood of nearly 3 billion people. So now I'm going with Mohamed Bashir, president of Noonu Atoll Council, Maldives. You were saying this morning something that caught my attention, that 75% of your land is used for tourism. So a lot of challenges there. And you talked also about mangroves and coral reefs and the necessity that we have to protect. So, Mr. Bashir, what would be your local perspective on desertification in the frame of loss and damage? And if you have any example from your city or your region that you can share with us, please.
Thank you very much. In Maldives, there is 11,000 islands, and from my region, from Noonunaturally, it is 72 islands, from which 25 islands already been leased for 100 years for tourism development, which is ultra tourism, and 10 of the islands that is not being yet leased is mangrove islands. The whole of the island is mangroves. There are 13 islands inhabited, and the rest of the islands that is not yet leased is only 15 islands. So currently, I am in a legal battle with the central government to conserve these 15 islands and the inhabitants. So total 25 islands. The local government is in a legal battle with the central government. So there is a decision-making and planning gap as well here in the national level and regional level, where the global finance is being invested and being channeled even through private sector, even to again release the rest of these islands, which includes 10 mangrove islands as well. And we have to note that each of the islands also consists of a home reef, coral reef, which is a fishing ground for the locals. So all these islands were formerly community farmlands, we could say. And the surrounding reef is the home reef, is the fishing grounds for the people. So once the islands are leased for tourism, then the local people doesn't have access to reef fishing or even to travel there. So that is the context of Maldives tourism development and local farmlands and fishing grounds. So for us, there is challenges in island erosion and land degradation. Coastal erosion eats away our islands daily, and while destructive reclamation and harbor projects, including reef and lagoon dredging, devastate our natural resources. For these projects, it is a global funding is being channeled for these reclamation projects and harbor dredging. ADB, World Bank, and several organizations fund these projects. It's not been monitored. Reef and mangrove destruction, coral reefs sustain marine biodiversity and shield us from storms, yet mass bleaching events and unsustainable interventions have left these vital ecosystems severely damaged. Mangroves, which serve as nature's buffers against sea surges, are being lost to urbanization and neglect. Freshwater pollution and depletion is there, decline in fisheries and import dependency. So we don't have farmlands to produce our local agricultural products. Except for fish, everything is for food is being imported. Sadly, funding for sustainable development is often misused. Instead of rehabilitating our reefs, budgets are channeled into short-sighted measures such as rock bouldering projects, which are not only exorbitantly costly but also unsustainable, requiring continuous repairs. Local councils, local governments in Maldives as stewards of our community are actually aware of the urgent need for proactive, yet our ability to lead is undermined by centralized governance systems. When we propose innovative incentives, innovatives such as reef regeneration, mangrove restoration, digital resource planning, our efforts are too often neglected and dismissed. Legislative frameworks increasingly restrict local interventions, leaving us unable to protect the ecosystem we rely on. Currently, as previously I have mentioned, I am in a battle with the central government to protect rest of the islands which is not leased. The global community and investors with their well-intentioned ambitions engage almost exclusively with the central governments, but lack a sustainable framework for financing and monitoring. While consultations sometimes occur, the mechanisms to funnel these critical funds for local impactful action is absent. Often this financing turns into debt trap, which is in Maldives context, 118% is our, irrespective of the GDP, we have a debt of 118%. For national authorities, further complicating the ability to empower the local grassroots initiative. The way forward in collaboration is accountability. Maldives' survival and that of other countries, small island states, demand a new approach for governance and financing sustainability. We urge our global allies, organizations, and investors to partner directly with local governments in the implementation, and central governments are regulatory body. Together, we can design more targeted, actionable, and inclusive solutions that reflect lives and realities of our communities. Allocate technical expertise, financial backing, and capacity building to proposed projects. Shift development funding to focus on regeneration rather than destruction. Interventions like reef rehabilitation can be far more cost-effective than sounder than destructive infrastructure projects such as rock bouldering. Legislative frameworks must empower local councils, not restrict them. Laws that shut out grassroots leadership stifle the innovation needed for tackle the challenges that we face. Local traditions, knowledge, practices have been protected by our islands for generations, but integrating these practices into modern governance, we can achieve more sustainable, culturally grounded outcomes if we have a decision-making and collaborative space with the national governments. Implement a sustainable global financing framework that ensures resources are being used transparently and long-term impact. That's the message I would like. Thank you.
Muchas gracias. Thank you very much, Mr. Bashir.